And we're live. Welcome to Behind the Thrones, Season 8, Episode 4. Wow. They killed a dragon. Tyrion is talking about treason. Barty is over there eating fucking chips. Put the bag down, dude.
It's
God.
biscuits.
But all right. So where do we start, Doku? Goddamn. That was the longest episode so far, right?
Well, I guess we should start the same way we always do and just give a recap, which for this episode shouldn't be too difficult to do.
Right. So I would say start from not the beginning, but like give a brief back on what happened, then go in.
Yeah. So, all right, let's run through this as quickly as possible, because there's definitely a lot to talk about here. The only major change to the intro that I noticed, you don't see those tiles representing the White Walkers or the Night King anymore. Other than that, the intro didn't change. The intro to this episode, not really worth mention. So the first scene we get are the dead bodies being burned in the feudal pyres, and then we get a bit of a celebration. So let's talk about Gendry. It's really the first big moment we have.
Yeah, I hopped in at that point.
So yeah, Gendry, according to Dany, is you wonder, yeah, your father Robert Baratheon killed my father, fought against my father. Who's the Lord of Storm's End? No one? No one really knows? Well, congratulations, Gendry. Now it's you.
You're the Lord now.
Well, no, I did like how they started that up, with the party at Winterfell, pretty much, the celebration. I like how they did that. That was pretty good. But you did get the hints of Dany being opposed to Jon, right? Everybody's looking at Jon and praising him, and she's not impressed.
Yeah, she's not too happy about it. And again, the whole thing with Gendry, that was nice. I always speculated that Gendry was going to be the person who sits on the throne at Storm's End by the time everything's said and done. Dany's definitely not happy with Jon now that she found out his true lineage. So,
well, she wasn't happy beforehand. They just couldn't deal with it. She was like, "We have to be bigger things right now. We'll deal with this later."
Well, no, and Mox Rocks is in the chat. He said, I shouldn't be here. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, spoiler alert. We're going to totally spoil the entire episode. So.
Oh, yeah, that we are.
Right
yeah, don't lose your head, mate.
God, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, no, and I thought she would be pushed. But anyway, I digress. So at the very beginning, though, you do have the party going on, and you have Dany just giving Jon those sideways looks, right?
Yeah, she clearly has something on her mind, which we'll get to that a little bit later because that gets addressed. And so, no, what do you think about Gendry being named Lord of Storm's End? Because there's no more Baratheons. It makes sense.
It was like that dude that was sitting down, couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
I thought we kind of predicted that, didn't we? We kind of predicted that he would end up sitting in Storm's End.
Yeah, we definitely did.
What we didn't predict, though, was him asking Arya to marry him and her fucking smacking him down like a fucking sack of potatoes. Poor fucker.
I think the whole marriage proposal thing that could be coming, because I do want to point out in this show there is a pattern of if you're really good in bed, they're just gonna want to marry you after one night. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, perhaps, but it would. even before this season, I was thinking Gendry's going to be the one to sit on the throne at Storm's End, and Arya's gonna be his queen. But we have to remember, Arya still has a list. She still has something she wants to do, and we know who's on that list.
Do you think?
Yeah, no, and that kind of extends to when she's leaving, headed south with the Hound, right?
Yeah, well, before we get to that, there are a few other things we need to go over in terms of the celebratory drinking game that they have at Winterfell, because we have a nice little scene of Tyrion, Jaime, and Brienne of Tarth. We get Giant's Bane. You know, they're doing all their drinking. They're talking about Jon. That's where we get that little snide-eye look from Dany, which you can tell she's threatened. Like, these people will follow Jon Snow. She doesn't seem to like that too much, does she?
Yeah, no, and it's really interesting because she tries to make him promise to keep that his lineage a secret. He immediately pretty much does what we all knew he would do and tell Arya and Sansa, but they cut away. Like, God damn it, Dan and Dave. Really?
And that annoyed the ever-living hell out of me. Like, really? You're going to have that big, that the first you have the scene with... Well, first you have the scene with Jon, Arya, Sansa, and Bran at the Godswood, and he's like, you have to swear to me you'll never tell another soul. And Bran's just like, it's your choice. And so he makes them swear, don't say anything. And before he speaks another word, they cut away from it. Hey.
Yeah, no, and then immediately Sansa fucking tells Tyrion. Like, I mean, like, seriously, bitch?
Well, that's her husband. That's her husband, so I mean...
Well, is he? I mean, I don't even know anymore.
Technically, yes.
And you could still tell that she still like cares for him in a way because of the whole. Remember last episode with the whole battle? They were behind the crypt.
Yeah, when they had their little moment of we should have stayed married, which I didn't know they weren't married. Like I said, I'm confused.
Well, and that's the thing. Sansa doesn't immediately tell Tyrion. It's only when Tyrion says, who do you think would, something along the lines, who you would think would be the better ruler? Jon loves our queen. And you can see her with her mouth kind of half open, like she wants to say something. And then Tyrion starts walking away. And then she turns around. Tyrion turns around and starts walking away. And then she's basically like, oh, by the way, I have to tell you something. And then they cut away again.
Yeah.
Damn it, Tana Dave.
Why? Can we not like get their reactions when they get told?
Yeah, no, and the thing is, okay, so you have this aspect of Dany and Jon being played against each other, right? But why? Even during the episode, as we were watching it, I was like, what the fuck? Why can't they just be married? Why does it matter if he's king, if she's queen? Why does this matter?
She wants to be like Cersei. She just wants to rule. She doesn't want any battle for she doesn't want anyone to question her legitimacy to the throne. She just wants to be able to be like, I have the throne, I'm queen. No one can challenge my legitimacy. But if she gets married to Jon, then people are gonna be like, ooh, are you really queen? He's really the top one now. Like, are you sure about this?
Well, and that's a big running theme throughout this episode is, the tension between Jon and Dany, legitimacy to the Iron Throne, and the fact that there are a core group of people that know about it now. I believe Tyrion says it's 8 people who know, so that would be
8.
Sansa.
8.
Well, no,
let's
I
see.
like that because that's really interesting. Where Varys goes, now it's no longer a secret; it's information. You know what I mean? And I like that aspect.
Well, and that's the thing. We have real quick. Let's figure out who these 8 individuals are. Bran,
John, Daenerys,
Samuel. Yeah, Bran, Sam, Sansa, Arya. Bran, Sam, Sansa, Arya, Jon, Daenerys, and now Tyrion and Varys. So there's our 8 that now know the true heritage of Jon Snow.
Well, yeah. Well, you would also have Gendry might know, because of Arya. So I mean,
I doubt it. I don't think Arya told.
Yeah, no, Arya wouldn't have had a chance to tell him because they didn't have any interaction after she turned him down, because her interaction with Jon was after that, and right after that, that's when we see the Hound leaving Winterfell, who gets joined by Arya. So I don't think she told Gendry. So the 8 people that know would be the 4 Starks, or more specifically the 2 Starks, the 3-eyed Raven, and Jon. Then we have Sam, Bran, Dany, and then Varys and Tyrion, who are the 2 that should really be the bigger concern, as what are they gonna do with that information?
Right, and also is like what Tyrion said, is Varys going to try to like usurp other people's kingdoms like he's done 8 other times.
Between him and Tyrion, it'll be interesting to see what direction they take it, to say the least. I don't know which one I would trust with that information more, because I don't know, Tyrion and Varys, they're both I'll say Tyrion's probably the more well-meaning, but they're both opportunists, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, he just drinks and he knows. But,
well, I don't get if this cunt didn't want to be the rightful Watsy. Why is he running around fucking telling everybody who he is then? Why didn't he just shut up about it and stay quiet? Keep the secret.
He feels a need to tell people who are like his inner circle, who are like his like.
Well, he was raised by Ned Stark. He's not going to lie to his family. You know what I mean? What are the Tully words? Family, duty, honor, right? And then,
there's a difference between telling some cunt and staying quiet. I mean, like you can lie, you can say nothing at all and hope that no bastard asks.
Why would he lie? But why would he lie to his family?
Well, what does he feel obligated to say something?
Well, no, and they set it up to where they were like, you are a Stark, you are this, you are that, and they kind of talked Jon into telling them. You know what I mean?
But he could have also just gone, oh, well, okay, whatever you reckon, we'll leave it at that.
Real quick, just to address the chat, Sizzle asked, does he come back, Lord of Light Priests? He hasn't died after being resurrected, so he's not dead, so I guess the answer would be no.
Well, no, and I think it's really interesting. Okay, so let's move forward from the celebration. There's a good half an hour of them doing drinking games, and everything's all great and good, other than Dany being paranoid, schizophrenic. But
don't forget about Jaime and Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, the Lezo goes back to solids.
Yeah, no, that's where I wanted to get to, actually, was that aspect where Jaime and her end up sleeping together more than once, it looked like. And then she asked
it was more than once. It was definitely more than once.
She asked him to stay with her, don't go south. And he pretty much says, well, every bad decision I ever made was for my sister, so I'm going to make another bad decision. What the fuck?
No. He did. So remember way back in, like, I gotta find it now because I'm on Twitter looking at shit. So remember way back he was talking to what's his face? To the dude that rolled up on him. We'll get to that later. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But let's focus more on Brienne of Tarth and Jaime.
No, but I'm saying he did that because he said, I wanna die in the arms of the woman I love.
Oh, and I know when we were watching the episode, we had me, you, and Mad Dodge kind of have a little bit of a spout about this. I always thought Jamie and Brianna Tarth were going to end up hooking up because one has not Heartsbane, Jesus, kill me now. One has Oathkeeper and the other has Widow's Wail. Both swords that are made from the ancestral sword of the Starks, ice. Jamie hates the North. Brienne loves the North. She swore an oath to Catelyn Stark. She wanted to protect Sansa and Arya. She even tells Jamie, you'll learn to like the North. Jamie hates it. It would not be outside of the realm of narrative to have two people who hold a sword that was forged from ice, both ending up in the North. But when it comes to what Jamie said to Brianna Tarth, I think he did that more as an act of kindness. Like, you shouldn't hate me, or you should hate me. You shouldn't love me. I'm going south to kill my sister because otherwise she's going to kill all of you. I don't want you to mourn my death. So I think he was just doing it because he actually does love her. Widow's Wail.
I think it was more that, like, yep, I tapped that, now I'm going off somewhere else.
Well, no, and it's also interesting, because they set it up with John. He's mounting the horse, and Tormund goes up to him and goes, "What? You're not riding the dragon?" He's like, "No, he's injured, and he doesn't need me weighing him down." And then flash forward about 30 minutes, and there goes John's dragon.
No, let's not talk about that yet. Damn it, we haven't gotten to that point. You're jumping ahead, Mad Dodge.
Well, that was a what the fuck moment, dude. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no,
that was a big WTF moment. I will give you that. But let's save that until we actually get to it. So no, the Hound has left for King's Landing. Arya joins him. We both know what their goal is. The Hound wants to kill his brother, the Mountain. Arya has one name left on her list, namely Cersei. And now Jamie is leaving. He doesn't want Brianna Tarth to join him, hence why he's being a dick. So after that, you have this contingent moving towards Dragonstone. So let's talk about that now, since you want to talk about that, Mad Dodge.
Well, if I was gonna use Euron, this is how I would have used him. It was fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? Like, okay, here's the dragon, blah, and then bam, it gets hit by the fucking ballista, and there's fucking Euron. You know what I mean? That was brilliant. I gotta give credit where credit is due.
That's the
thing. They all have.
It's another display of bullshit fucking battle tactics, the Ryan Johnson effect. I mean, like, fucking, if they had half a brain, they should be able to have seen these ships had fucking ballistas on them from a mile off. Send the other dragon around the back and get them to split their bloody fire.
But I didn't think about that. You're right. Where the fuck is Bran? Like, why is he fucking worrying some fucking seagull or some shit? Like, what the fuck?
But what shat me to fucking tears is, like, after the first barrage, they take out one dragon. The second barrage, she completely fucking gets through. Doesn't take the opportunity for the next 30 seconds or a minute and a half, or however long it takes them to reload their ballistas. Get in there, fucking burn the bastards to a crisp. Right. She fucks off again.
Right?
Well, no, actually, this is
staring them down.
This is something.
Like,
hold on, real quick, Mad Dodge.
Like, burn the ships, you fucking cunt. Like,
real quick, Mad Dodge. This is something I wanted to mention because it was a one line. It might seem like a throwaway, but I think this is actually something really important. Bran says, I forgot who he's talking to, but he says in the episode, "I live in the past." I feel like this reaffirms my theory that Bran actually cannot see the future. He sees the past.
Well, everyone does.
Yeah, but he's never been able to see the future. So, like, he's always been able to see the past.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Like, First, yeah, where was Bran? He should be able to warg into a seagull or some shit and see the battlefield. That being said, there's also Daenerys, where she's, I don't know, riding a dragon that breathes fire. How about you burn those wooden boats?
Well,
What
yeah.
the
She
fuck?
Yeah, she should have done something, but she was like, "Oh well, I just don't know what to do. I'm just gonna fly away."
Well, also, you do have to remember, she just lost one of her only remaining 2 dragons, and it's not
But it
just
wasn't
Euron's
even her
flagship that
dragon.
has. Well, it's
But
not just Euron's flagship that has a ballista. It's all of the lead ships.
Yeah, but they all fired off in a barrage, though. Like, whilst because they all fired off, she still has all that time when they're reloading to go in and fucking get them again.
Yeah, but that dragon's gonna be hit. That dragon's gonna be hit by at least one of those things.
At
It
least
might
one.
have been smart knowing. It might have been smart knowing the battle that's coming up. If you've already lost one dragon and you only have one left, retreat might not be a bad option. Granted, if it were me, jumping or not jumping, but like going down to pretty much touching the ocean and just ramming down the enemy's throat and burning the lead ships, also taking out Euron potentially, would probably have been the more risky but better decision to do. But you did lose a dragon and you only got one left, and it happens to be the dragon that Dany is riding, so maybe retreat was the better option.
Well, no, and we kind of skipped past this, but you do have the scene with Varys and Tyrion, pretty much talking about treason, right? Shouldn't Jon Snow be the king? Wow, okay. So we are gonna get the Tyrion treason aspect going forward, aren't we?
Actually, I think it's Varys that's going to betray Dany.
Yeah, it's gonna be Varys. It's in Varys because Dany's gonna need Tyrion at some point, and Varys is more of a throwaway hand.
Well, and this wouldn't be the
Where
first time that
Tyrion-
Varys has betrayed somebody either, so it fits his character more.
Right, and Tyrion's more of a loyal to like, hey, just don't kill me.
Getting back to that sea battle just real quick, the instant fucking she turned around and they basically lost. Fucking, that was the point where I thought, yeah, well, this other fucking Queen Sheila, the other discount fucking Sarah Connor is just going to look at these cunts and just go, yeah, well, we fucked you up in the first round. What are you going to fucking do? And that's basically exactly what happened at the end. It's sort of like, yeah, so you lost this one, we'll fucking kick your ass again. Here, have a headless bitch to go home with.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Also, so after that, weren't Tyrion and Jaime in the bar or whatnot?
Oh yeah, we skipped that. So Jaime and Tyrion having a drink, and look
Being
who
good
shows
brothers.
up.
Being good,
Yeah.
brother.
So Bronn of the Blackwater shows up with that crossbow that Tyrion used to put a bolt through Tywin Lannister's heart twice while he is on the privy.
It's funny.
So-
I was actually going to make a Blackwater joke because he said he was a mercenary, but like, he's actually a fucking Blackwater. What the fuck?
They
They call Bronn of the Blackwater because of the Battle of Blackwater Bay. But yeah,
that's what got him his knightship.
Because
So-
you know, Blackwater is an actual mercenary organization. Well, it's private security contractors, but yeah, they're mercenaries.
Well, yeah, yes. Kind of funny. I never thought about that actually. But no, this asshole walks right in, wielding the crossbow, and says, "You know what? This is for you guys." And Tyrion, of course, is like, "Hey, yeah, remember what I told you? Whatever they're gonna pay you to kill me, I'll pay it double." And Bronn kind of gets tired with Tyrion talking, so he says,
Punch him straight in the nose.
He's like, you broke my nose. I didn't break your nose. How do you know? I've broken plenty of noses.
I've broken noses since I was your height, and I know what it sounds like.
Yeah, so you can tell Bronn is not playing around.
Well,
and then when Jaime thinks Bronn's not going to do anything, what does he do? he sends a crossbow bolt right past his freaking head.
Oh no, and that's what I liked. I liked it when Jamie jumped up and he's like, "What? Like you just hit my fucking little brother? Like you know what I mean? Like he was on it."
But also, I wanna
doing
point
my
out-
little cousin is, eh?
but also, I want to point out, I think Braun's tired of just being used. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, everyone has used Braun. Like every like Cersei, the Lannisters, sometimes even the Starks have used Braun as a way to like in battle. He's never fully gotten what he's paid or due. So he says like, I'm tired of being used by you fuckers. You're gonna have to pay me once for all. After this, I'm done with all you fuckers. Pick one.
Oh, and that's the thing. Braun even says it. He's being used by Cersei now. He was used by Tyrion in the past. He's used by Jaime. Almost got burnt to death by Dragonfire. Had to save him. Braun's
What do
kind
you
of fed
say?
up.
Right.
Yeah, what do you say when he comes in? You guys are a bunch of golden cunts or some shit. I was like, what?
Yeah, golden haired. Something about Jaime's pubes and golden hair.
Yeah, you're a bunch of golden cunts, which is actually a fucking greeting out here.
Yeah, I'm starting to figure out. I think Braun is Australian.
But yeah, no, but it makes sense now why he's so like, I'm just tired of dealing with the bullshit. Like you've been fucking me over for the past almost 8 seasons, and I'm not gotten my pay. I deserve my pay. And then Cersei's like, yeah, I'll give you a kingdom. And then he's like, all right. And then he goes to speak to the fucking the midget.
Tyrion.
Like, so Tyrion, he's like, so yeah, what are you gonna offer me? He's like, well, I'll give you double for someone tells you to kill me. All right, so what castle are you gonna give me? What kingdom?
Well, yeah, no, I like that. He's like, so she promised me River Run. What's double River Run? I'm like Winterfell, right? Come on.
So, like, that's actually taken directly from history. The Romans, particularly say Julius Caesar, for example, he went on so many campaigns that a lot of his legions were actually getting old, and as part of their retirement plan, they were supposed to get a large amount of money plus some land to just they can go off and farm and stuff like that. And there are numerous occasions where he had to actually beg some of his older legions, look, yeah, no, I will give you what I promised, but we got to go do this first so I can fucking settle down and fucking, deal with Parliament and shit like that. So that was actually a thing. Like, and if a fucking the Roman general or something like that gets killed in a campaign, well, then all bets are off. Pretty much, the promise is lost.
Yeah, and so, but I like that aspect also with the whole historical aspect of just promising double and getting.
Well, no, and here's the thing with Braun, though, right? So he is already hedging his bet against Cersei. I knew Cersei was going to lose the second I saw those dragons, right? So how is that going to shift now that Cersei kind of, well, let's be honest, she fucked with the Dragon Queen, didn't she?
And she also has the upper hand in, bro. Like, how do you? Well, wait. Can we get to the ending? Or are we not there yet?
I think we're pretty much there because there wasn't really much in between. There was just people talking bullshit.
Yeah, the only last scene was Rhaegal getting 3 ballista spears. I mean, they're too big to be arrows. Getting 1 in the chest, 1 in the wing, and 1 in the gullet, and then crashing down into the water, presumably dead. And the Targaryen fleet taking a lot of heavy fire from also said ballistas until we get to Dany's little contingent in front of King's Landing.
So why didn't these other cunts have fucking heavy artillery like ballistas and shit on their boats? I mean, like, when you guys said, sea battle, I'm thinking, well, they don't have cannons, so this is going to be fucking lame as shit. And then, pull out the ballistas. All right, this is actually getting better. Hang on, why have these cunts got them?
Well, I was anticipating like they would sail a bit closer beforehand. So I was like, we're getting a sea battle. You know what I mean? I was thinking, okay, one's gonna sail closer, the other one's gonna sail closer, and then they're gonna have a sea battle and shoot the spears at each other and fight on ships and whatnot. Also, one point that was kind of funny with Tyrion Lannister was he was on the ship and the ship was like exploding everywhere, and it reminded me that the Pirates of the Caribbean movie when the ship's just like exploding and he's just like, and the guy's just walking around like, oh, fuck, we lost. And like it's just Tyrion's like, fuck this, I'm jumping in water.
But still, yeah, like why didn't the other lot have fucking heavy artillery on their ship as well? I'm sure they should have seen this coming.
Because they're not good like strategizers of war.
But isn't that fat cunt like their fucking intelligence bloke? Shouldn't he have fucking known this and sort of warned them? It's like, oh yeah, don't go without them big fucking ballista thingies.
Well, Dany's forces are not exactly well versed with siege engines either. That they've been relying on dragons the entire time. So building ballistas.
They're also more land battle ready than.
Well, no, and I'm looking at the chat. William Stenchover's in the chat. What's up, man? He says epic panel as usual, Mad Dodge. Yeah, you know, I always have an epic panel. Damn it! I know you're being a smart ass, but you know, fuck you too, buddy. But no, the thing is, we did get to find out if dwarves know how to swim. Tyrion did survive.
Yeah, give it a minute with the panel. Like we might get more panelists than viewers soon.
God.
Hey, but don't be a dick.
Yeah, a dick.
But yeah, no, let's be honest here. If the last episode was any indication, putting trebuchets and catapults in front of your castle walls, I would argue that the North and Dany's forces don't really know how to utilize siege engines very well. Maybe they should recruit Qyburn.
It'd just piss me off if their excuse was that they didn't have enough fuel for the boats to get in there fast enough.
Oh god, we're not talking about Last Jedi, damn it.
Well, it is Rian Johnson style fucking battle tactics.
Yeah, it's stupid and it doesn't make sense. Okay, so is it just me, or does it feel like Euron just showing up out of nowhere with not only a ballista, but a ballista where he's seated in it, like it's a frickin' World War I style battleship turret? I'm
cool, dude. I thought that was badass.
I mean, it was cool, but really, you're gonna outfit the ships, that many ships, at least 7, 8, possibly 10, with ballistas of that size. You look at the difference between the ballistas. They're X-shaped ballistas. Qyburn has either been really, really fucking busy, or I'm calling Deus Ex Machina just to get rid of a dragon so that the fight is not one-sided.
Well, no, and why the fuck did they kill Jon's dragon? Like, seriously, what the fuck?
Well, I did want to talk about that a little bit. Remember that Jon Snow has already been stabbed in the heart, and they mentioned that in this episode. Where is the first bolt fired from that ballista? Where does it hit Rhaegal? It hits him right in the fucking heart.
Yeah, you're right, huh?
Do you think Rhaegal comes back like Jon did?
It wouldn't surprise me if they did that.
Somehow some other witch person or wizard just comes back and is like, oh, let's bring Rhaegal back.
Well, notice we also don't see Jon Snow after that. So does Jon Snow feel it when Rhaegal gets hit? I don't know. There's a lot of different things they could do with it. I'm not going to say I have any trust in Dan and Dave to actually have that kind of level of nuance, but it wouldn't surprise me if Rhaegal comes back, or hell, I don't know. There's probably a fan theory floating around where Jon Snow becomes the Night King and Rhaegal is the new undead Viserion and he fucks off back to the lands of Always Winter. I would not be surprised.
Okay,
but
so
Cersei looks more like the Night King more than anybody.
Well, no, and here's the thing. Am I the only one who thought when Tyrion walks up to the wall and Cersei doesn't order them to fire, am I the only one that thought he was turning on fucking Dany right there? Because I did. I was like, nuh-uh. Like, he's crossing the line right now, isn't he?
he's at that point, and then all of a sudden, bro. Okay, I kind of like the conversation they had, the talk of, hey, we don't want to kill everyone in this village, but we will if we have to. and the guy's like, well, yeah, but also she wants y'all to surrender. So
Yeah, no, I like that. They're like, yeah, we're here for your unconditional surrender. And you're looking at the Dothraki, or not the Dothraki, but the Unsullied, and there's like, what, 45 of them? Like, really?
30.
Like, yeah, get bent, dude. We're not surrendering shit.
Well, I kind of predicted this last week with the whole analogy of like, yeah, there's only 9 of them, like on the fucking Millennium Falcon. What are they going to fucking do? They're all fucking dead now. Fucking, how are they going to win another war?
Right. Also, remember they said, yeah, half the army is gone, so we have no one.
Yeah.
Well, also, did anybody else find it really stupid that Dany has Drogon chilling in the background when she approaches King's Landing, and they have these gigantic ass fucking ballistas on the frickin' battlements, and you just have your dragon there in the open field? Like,
right?
what's stopping them from just killing your dragon right then and there?
Yeah, no,
Hey,
and why the fuck didn't they just shove Melisandre, or whatever the fuck her name is, off the goddamn wall and then shoot their ballistas at the goddamn dragon? Like, fuck you. We're not giving up. Fuck off, Dragon Queen.
Well, just the design of those fucking ballistas, they don't look like they can point straight up. So fucking all you need to do is just get altitude and then fucking dive bomb the cunts. But that'd be smart.
Also,
I mean, granted, they had a lot of ballistas, but still, seems rather stupid to have a contingent of 2 formations of maybe, 15, 20 people each of Unsullied, and then Tyrion, Varys, Dany, who the hell else was there? There was one other person of importance. And then Drogon, like, those are all your main people, and you're just there to demand Cersei's surrender? What?
Well, no, and how exactly did the Unsullied and Dany get all the way south so quickly when Jon is still on the King's Road? I mean, what the fuck?
Because they had enough fuel for one warp.
Remember, they had ships, and what happened is they probably took what's it called? They probably stopped at not whatever that other boat.
Whitewater.
Is. Yeah, they probably got picked up by people at Whitewater. Once they got picked up, they were just taken there, and then they were all outfitted. Did that look like Whitewater where they were?
Well, they went from Whitewater to Dragonstone. That's where they got ambushed. But
Yeah,
I mean, Dragonstone is south of King's Landing, so they're closer. But still, I wouldn't be putting my major players within range of ballistas and archers in front of a fortified city against someone like Cersei, who I know is an insufferable ass.
A fucking psycho bitch. I mean, seriously, like she is
also,
a fucking psycho.
Right, but also, what I want to happen is them to be like, so we can get the Clegane Bowl at the end. What I want them to happen is send up your best fighter, and we'll fight for the kingdom. And they set up both the Cleganes, and then that's how whoever wins, that's how it ends. That's it. That's how you dictate.
Well,
the winner of
that's pretty much how we're gonna get Clegane Bowl, right? Because we have the Hound headed south as we speak. He'll probably get there next episode because they have transporters in Westeros. So.
Oh no, and I have to tell Melissa that I acknowledge your presence. I'm very tolerant. Okay.
Oh, Melissa, you're Hispanic. Ooh, cool tacos.
Yeah.
Oh, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Can I have a grande meal? No.
Oh, now you're just being worse than I am.
God damn it. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. But no, yeah, the thing remains though, Dan and Dave's transporter aside, Jon Snow will probably arrive next episode as well. what's Arya gonna do though? I mean, really, what's her point now? If she's not gonna marry Gendry and be Lady of Storm's End, then what has she got left to do?
Die.
It killed Jaime or Tyrion, I guess, and then kill Cersei. I mean, it's the last person on her list at this point. So
Well, Tyrion's a good guy now, right? I mean,
It's her list.
He-
It's her list. It's her list trumps everything.
I bet
It
you she
doesn't
dies
mean Arya
before
won't
she gets
kill
to
him.
finish the list. I bet you she dies before she gets to finish the list.
well, and
No,
Tyrion,
she's gonna-
where is Tyrion gonna land?
gonna
Is he gonna land
finish her
in
list and
his
then she's
camp
gonna
or
die.
John's? Because you already saw Varys kind of making the divide, right?
yeah, I think Varys is going to support Jon and Tyrion's going to support Dany. And they both know the lineage of each. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, to say the least.
Just real quick, in the chat, Melissa says, only if you make me some of your native foods from scratch. I don't think you want some witchy grubs there, sweetheart.
I mean, I can make you some potato and leek soup, or maybe some fish and chips or something.
No, native foods. The witchetty grubs, banyan roots, fucking, yeah, no, you don't want that shit. Tastes like crap, but it is edible.
Also, wait. Also, I want to point out. I want to point out that I don't know why, but I think a lot of people were expecting Grey Worm to die and not Missandei.
Oh well, yeah. So that's the final scene we've yet to touch on.
Oh, I thought we were.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, okay, I didn't see them chopping her head off. I thought she was just gonna be pushed.
No. They did the big fucking, like I was saying at the time, they did a big fucking lead up to it. That was the most telegraphed fucking beheading in the world. And it's like, someone should have yelled out, "Duck, bitch!"
I don't think if she had ducked, I feel like that would have been worse. It would have been way more brutal death than just her taking a beheading.
Oh, and that's the thing. I got to correct you, Mad Dodge. Missandei, she stood there and her last word was Dracarys. Yeah. What was everybody advising Dany not to do? Burn the city?
Yeah,
And-
yeah, exactly.
Now Grey Worm's going to just kill everyone now. He's going to kill everyone until he's dead.
Oh yeah, Grey Worm was pissed, and then the mountain pulls out his sword. Cersei tells Missandei, like, "You got any last words? Now's the time." And her last word was Dracarys, and then the mountain chops her head off, and we see it from her sitting on not just the castle walls, but right above the gate, and you see her head fall. So yeah, they definitely decapitated her.
You see the head go one way, the body goes straight down. Yeah, and then someone should have yelled out, "Who wants a little head?"
No,
Oh God.
No, but yeah, burn them all. Is that an echo of the fact that Dany is going to be the Mad Queen? She is going to go insane, right? She's already paranoid about Jon, and I don't even understand why. Why not just get married? What is the problem here?
The dynamic between Jon and Dany, we already saw it in this episode, but there was lead up to it to suggest this. But Dany does not want to be challenged. Tyrion and Varys even say it. She's not very accepting of people who challenge her right to the Iron Throne or her right to being Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. So Jon, despite being her lover, is kind of a direct threat to that. So what is Dany going to choose? The Iron Throne or Jon Snow?
Well, no,
Also,
I get what you're saying there, but the fact remains, though, it's not a threat if you get married. How is it a threat? You would be unifying the Seven Kingdoms at that point. Because without Jon Snow, you don't have the North. The North will not join without Jon Snow. It won't.
Well,
like I was saying beforehand, she doesn't want anybody to question her legitimacy to the throne. Right? she wants no one to question her authority. She wants her authority to be ruled. But if she has John there, the people up north aren't going to follow her. They're going to follow John. She's
Well, and
way
also,
more worried. She's way more worried about not having people that listen to her than
well,
than not having.
remember in the last season when John and Dany very first met, and Daenerys had all these labels and titles, and Jon Snow's King of the North. Remember that little exchange they had? I think Dany cares a little bit more about her claim to the Iron Throne than she does about, well, anything else.
Well, no, I thought that was funny though. Last season, yeah, Khaleesi of the Great fucking Sea, the Unburnt, blah 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 blah, and then Davos is like, he's Jon Snow, King of the North,
Right? He's like, well, that's a lot. He's like, that's a lot of titles. But are you queen of anything?
And also remember, Dany looked at John and she was like, oh, well, you declaring yourself King of the North is in direct opposition to my legitimacy to the throne. That makes you my enemy. Now that the Night King and the Army of the Dead are gone, it's not far-fetched to think that Daenerys doesn't exactly view Jon as an ally, especially knowing his heritage. And if she finds out that he told Sansa, Arya, and even if she finds out that Bran and Varys and Tyrion also know his true origin, I have an itching suspicion that Dany is probably not going to be too happy about that.
True. Also, wait, we missed the portion where we were about Sam and Gilly. We skipped over that.
Oh yeah, Gilly's pregnant with Sam's baby because there's not a whole hell of a lot to do in Hightower.
Yeah,
Besides have sex.
yeah. Sam got some.
But didn't they only fuck the night before though? That was fucking quick.
But no,
No.
Sam's been fucking Gilly for years now.
Yeah, they've been fucking for a while. They have been fucking for a very long while.
She's a chubby chaser.
But also, it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny when John went up to hug her, and she was like, "The fuck is that?" He was like, "You are way fatter than before. What is this?"
She got a baby.
Yeah.
His reaction is just like, "Wait a minute, hold on a minute."
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so yeah, Gilly's pregnant. That's cool. Does that even matter though? Really?
Well, I mean, it matters in the long run because if, let's say, Cersei wins, she's gonna try to go up north and destroy the north.
Oh, and it does matter quite a bit. Because if you remember, what did they want to name the baby if it's a boy?
John.
I know, right? John, yeah, that's not even his name, right? And what's Jon Snow say? He's like, well, let's hope it's a girl.
Well, and there is a fan theory, one that I enjoy a lot myself. If you look at the intro to Game of Thrones, that the astrolabe that you see at the beginning, that's the same one you see in the Citadel. So perhaps the theory that the recanting of the story is Sam talking to Gilly's baby, who is now named John, is them.
No, Aegon. He's gonna name him Aegon.
Well, no,
not gonna know.
no, I'm talking about Gilly's baby.
Yeah, no, but he's the first kid she had.
No, not the first kid, not the one she named Sand, but the one that she's pregnant with now.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna at the end. He's gonna, like you said, tell the story, and then he's gonna say the kid's name, which is gonna be John's real name.
I mean, perhaps, but either way, I still think the Song of Ice and Fire could easily be, Sam telling the story to his kid John.
No, I agree with you on that. I think it could be also.
Because that will also be his legitimate kid. It won't be little Sam. It'll be the legitimate kid between Sam and Gilly.
Melissa in the chat says, hope it's a girl. Quite odd from a guy. I just went, being Game of Thrones, he wants a girl so he can have more poon.
Could you imagine John waits 60 years? Or John waits like 20 years?
Well, what do you think?
John waits 20 years just to fuck Sam's unborn child. Just I'm gonna wait it out, guys.
I still think John is probably not going to survive to see the end of this.
I think John will live. I think Danny's gonna die. I think Danny is the psycho, schizophrenic fucking lunatic, and I think she's gonna end up dying in childbirth.
Yeah.
I stand by that. I still think that's what's gonna happen.
You think she's pregnant now? Huh?
She is, yeah. Jon Snow knocked her up, dude. Like, he already knocked her up. There's a little dire wolf in the belly.
Yeah, no, I still think John is going to die. And he'll do it probably sacrificing himself to save Danny. And that's probably what's going to bring her back from the brink of turning into her father. I mean, we've had enough foreshadowing. And let's be blunt, man. Dan and Dave have been very, very straightforward with, this is what's going to happen. Yeah, they haven't been putting a lot of plot twists in place, especially not in this season. So
this season's been straight. Like, this season has been a lot of goodbyes.
Okay, real quick. Eldritch God in the chat. I just want to know: is there anything in episode 4 that in any way redeems the last episode? That dragon kill was out of left field. I didn't see that coming. That was dope.
Crazy. I mean, they killed the weakest dragon anyway, but that shit was absurd. Like, they shot that bitch down in 3 strikes. It was like 1, 2, 3. You're out of here.
Well, they gave him a bolt to the chest, a bolt to the gullet, and a bolt to the wing. That
dragon kill was dope.
It was definitely a what the fuck moment, that's for sure. But I don't know. I would really hope that Rhaegal is not dead. I would like to see a scene in the next episode where John does feel it, because they have done some hints that would suggest he would. Like where Rhaegal's flying off, and you're like, okay, yeah, he's definitely flying off to go find John. Because guess what, Danny? Rhaegal is John's dragon, not yours.
Right? The way Rhaegal flew off, like, yeah, bitch, I'm not yours anymore. Fuck off.
Well, and again, the first shot hit him in the chest, right where his heart would be, the same area that John has that scar from being stabbed and betrayed by the Night's Watch.
Real quick, Eldritch expanded upon that. He said, anything to do with the Night King? No, we didn't get any answers in that regard at all.
Yeah, unfortunately. It wouldn't surprise me if that story arc is not finished, but as far as this episode is concerned, there wasn't anything to suggest that the Night King or anything regarding that plot arc has been resolved. It's mostly just Cersei's the big bad.
Yeah, no, and why exactly is Cersei the big bad? I mean, she's not really that threatening. Okay, let's look at Westeros, right? I have the map on my wall. I'm looking over at it right now. Okay, the north is already left. Then you have freaking Dragonstone. That's under Daenerys's control. You have Dorne that joined Daenerys's cause. You don't need King's Landing, do you?
The only reason you need King's Landing is to just take out Cersei. But as far as controlling the city, no, you just need to take out Cersei and Euron, and you pretty much win. Controlling King's Landing is not paramount to victory at this point in time.
Well, yeah, no, and that's kind of my point. Is like you could really just isolate Cersei off. You wouldn't even have to mess with her, right? Just take control of the other 6 kingdoms, and then you just surround Cersei and slowly siege, King's Landing to death. All you have to do is cut off their access to Blackwater Bay and cut off any trade route in. They won't be able to eat in a month. You know what I mean?
Well, and also I agree with reading the chat. I agree with Eldritch on this one. We had that scene where Jon is basically saying his goodbyes before he goes south. And then we also have Rhaegal get killed in the same episode. I think Jon is dead. The only way that Jon is not dead...
Jon's going to live.
No, the only way that Jon's going to live is if he becomes the new Night King, or there's something related to that. Because remember the mentions of, you have Northern blood in you.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the true North? The true North is the lands of always winter. The true North...
But doesn't Jon have fucking Jesus power? Why don't you just stick him in a fucking cave and wait 3 days?
Well, no, and Toku, that's interesting because Tormund and Jon were talking during the episode, right? And Tormund said, we're going back up to Castle Black. And Jon's like, no, the free folk are, welcome to stay in the north. And he's like, no, we need area to roam, right? So they are headed back north.
Well, and that's the thing. They're not just staying at Castle Black. They're going beyond Castle Black. They're going back to the real north, as they call it. So who's to say that Jon, for Lord knows whatever reason, doesn't become the new Night King and Rhaegal becomes the new undead Viserion and they just fuck off back to the north? Because Dany clearly doesn't want Jon sitting on the Iron Throne. So who's to say that Jon doesn't end up becoming the new Night King and sitting on the Ice Throne? I would not put it past Dan and Dave to do something like that.
I don't know. I think I do believe Jon will end up on the Iron Throne. Sansa will rule the North from Winterfell. You have Gendry now at Storm's End. Arya, I don't know. Her arc is kind of over, right? She turned down Gendry, so her arc is,
No. Because she's heading down with the Hound to. She's heading down south. I don't think her arc is over quite yet. She's still got the ending portion of her arc.
I guess that's a fair point, but I mean, all that's left really is for her to either kill Cersei or die trying, right?
Well, no. Look, I think she's gonna try to kill Cersei, but she's gonna kill Jaime. And when she kills Jaime, Jaime's gonna be dying in Cersei's hands, like he said.
Oh God, Eldritch in the chat says feminism says Jon must die. God damn it, dude.
Actually, here's an interesting question. Remember that baby we saw back in, I think it was season 3?
Nope.
Oh, right. way back with like the council, and they did the whole finger thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's just like
where the Night King turned the baby. But that was like season 5. Is that gonna be the new Night King? Because this is another thing I've always wanted to bring up.
No, there is no new Night King. You don't get it. They killed that arc, dude.
He's not wrong.
They murdered it.
No. He's not wrong about that. Because there still is something way off in the distance that's just cultivating. And what's going to happen is they're gonna finish that battle. Their next episode. Wait, season 4, episode 5, next week. They're gonna have that battle, and then episode 6, that other kid that other baby that we saw is gonna come down and bring the winter down with him and raise everyone back to.
No, I've got an
Look
even
at the back.
shitter theory. Fucking this baby Night King comes back and goes, "Okay, you killed my dad, so I'll side with you, cunts like Danny and all that. Here, I'll bring back your dragons too." And then yeah,
Well, and that's
Well-
the thing. If you look at the way things work with the White Walkers, yeah, you can have the Night King who creates White Walkers, but the Night King, did he transfer himself into that kid? Is that his failsafe?
Yeah, I
No,
wouldn't surprise me.
you're reading too much into it.
I mean, I'm not saying Dan and Dave would be clever enough to do this, but what if you just have an undead Viserion undead Rhaegal just, pop out of the ocean out of nowhere, and it's like, oh yeah, you thought the long night was over?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you just see a cloud of winter, just like a cloud of snow, just start pushing down south, and people are like, "Why the fuck is it snowing?"
It would
Oh, no,
explain
Danny's
visions.
even fucking worse. The baby comes back and brings the Night King back, and then it's all on for fucking young and old again.
Yeah, they have to team up to defeat the Night King, and then they're like, "Okay, we'll hold off on this battle. We gotta deal with this shit now. This shit's
Well-
crazy. This shit's worse."
Okay, so let's get back to the episode proper here. All right.
Wow, we got off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
So you have Braun, that whole situation. Do you think that went over well? I didn't really expect Braun to sock Tyrion in the nose. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect him to show up. Like, I didn't expect him to come and be like,
Well,
"Hey,
no,
guys,
and he
how
was
y'all
so
doing?"
hostile. Like he was fucking pissed. What the hell?
But like we said earlier, he's tired of being used. He's been used for everything, and he's like, I just want a kingdom. I just want a kingdom and fuck bitches. Can I get a kingdom, please? I've done everything y'all have asked me to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything. What else?
he wants a castle, some gold, some wine, and a nice little harem. It's like, you
Right.
promised me this ever since I've met any of you golden-haired bastards. So can I get what I want, please?
Right?
So-
He's like, I'm just tired.
Well,
I'm
no,
just
and that's
tired,
one
guys."
thing I liked when Cersei brought it up to him. He's like, "Your fucking family." Like what the fuck? like, god damn it.
Right, and like she came in when he was having sex, and he was like, "God, can I just live? Can I just live? Can I just have sex like in peace?"
Yeah,
Yeah, he just wants to get drunk and get laid.
Yeah, what kind of asshole interrupts a threesome anyway? Like, that is bad form. All right.
Right? That's just bad decorum. That's even terrible manners, because you're just supposed to not interrupt him and wait. And then she's like, "No, I need you right now."
Fuck you,
Like,
cunts.
but
I had a
I did.
threesome to know.
Well, and again, it wasn't even Cersei that showed up. It was Qyburn. Like, she didn't even show up herself. He's like, I'm here trying to get laid. I'm here trying to drink, and then you show up, and it's like, hey, you need to do some stuff for me. Here's a crossbow. Go potentially get killed again. Also, the chicks that he's trying to have intercourse with, they're talking about the Dragon Queen and the dragons. He's like, can we not talk about the dragons? I'm trying to get laid here.
Right, I need one of you to suck my dick now. This is too much talking about battles and shit that I've seen. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Can we just stop?
Yeah, so you can imagine why Bronn of the Blackwater would be pissed. It's like, dude, I'm trying to get drunk and have sex. Like, y'all keep talking about
And have
dragons
kids,
and
have grapes.
Lannisters and
Oh,
shit.
well, no,
Bronn wants nothing to do with it.
speaking of getting drunk, Tyrion is back to drinking. Does that
Why are you
mean
getting into the banana?
Does that mean that Tyrion is gonna be back to his clever self? Like he's gonna fucking regain his standing? Because you know, as soon as he stopped drinking, he became a fucking idiot.
Actually reminds me of a yard manager at fucking First Fleet. He was stoned up his ass all the time, and they did a massive drug test and got him to stop fucking smoking while at work. And he was that fucking crap when he was fucking sober. We actually, after about 2 weeks, was like, dude, go up the back of the fucking yard, have a fucking joint, and then come back and fucking do your job.
But like, I think, yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are just done. Like, God, we've been in so many wars. Can we please just have a normal day? Like, I just want to get laid. That's all he wants. That's all a lot of them want. They just want to get laid and have peace. But no, we have to have wars every 5 minutes.
Well, if they're having wars every 5 minutes, wouldn't a day without war not be a normal day?
Well, yeah.
Well, it's because a lot of these characters are fighting over superficial things. Danny wants the Iron Throne. Jon, who knows what Jon wants?
Jon just wants to rule in the North. He doesn't want the Seven Kingdoms. He just wants the North.
He doesn't even want the North. Jon just wants to die, ultimately, right? Like he's like, fuck all.
Yeah, Jon's suicidal. Jon's very suicidal right now.
But Jon even said, "The next time I die, don't bring me back."
Yeah, he's like, I died once. I don't want to come back. I was dead already.
Well, no, and that was an interesting aspect. That was a couple seasons ago, but did you notice what he said? He said that there was nothing, just blackness. There was no heaven, no hell. There was just nothing. That's interesting. And for him to still be kind of on that suicidal track, why would he want to just go into nothingness?
Well, because he wouldn't be. This is actually something I wanted to bring up on more the theoretical side of things. Those spirals that are used by the Children of the Forest and the White Walkers, they have 8 spiral arms. In the Faith of the Seven, there is the other, and there is also death. The only 2 aspects that aren't represented would be either the Lord of Light or the old gods, which we know now are how the White Walkers were created. So, which of those, which single part of that 8-sided spiral is not represented? Is it the Lord of Light, or is it the others? Or are they 2 sides of the same coin? And is the Faith of the Seven basically just the faith of man, and it doesn't really mean anything at all?
I have a bigger question. The last time the Long Night came, it happened in both Westeros and Essos. So what exactly is going on in Essos right now? Is there another Night's King? Is there another Army of the Dead that we're not even privy to, that we don't even know what's going on?
Yeah, we just said so. It's the baby.
Probably not, because Essos and Westeros were separated when the Children of the Forest decided they wanted to destroy the Arm of Dorne. So I highly doubt the White Walkers were able to do any real damage in Essos. If that was even going to be a plot device, they would require at least 1 more episode. But it would be interesting to look at what happened in the first Long Night, because I do believe that Essos and Westeros were, per the text that's been provided to us, connected at some point in time. So who's to say that the White Walkers weren't in Essos during the first Long Night?
Well, no, and all right. So let's get to the point in the show where we give our rating. Last week I gave it a 5.5. This week I'm gonna jump up. I'm going with an 8, a solid 8. What do you guys think?
JB first.
I like the last week's episode. I think more than you guys did. But I'll give this episode 7.5.
Okay. Why are you going 7.5? I went with a solid 8 because of the dragon kill. That's what put me at an 8.
Well, I went with a 7.5 because I like last week's episode way more. I'd give the last week's episode like a 9, almost an 8, like an 8.5, 9. But this week's episode, I don't know, it felt like there was just too much talking until you were like, oh crap, we're in a fight scene now. And like I was when we were watching, I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get a fucking we're gonna get a ship war. Like they're gonna battle on ships and whatnot. And I was like, oof, we're gonna get to battle on ships. They just got destroyed. So it wasn't really like a war on the water. So I felt like they could have done a bit more with the battle on the sea, and it made it a bit more confrontational and less than one-sided. But I did like this episode. I just didn't like it as much as I liked last week's.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Farty, you're kind of on the outside looking in, right? You're not fanboys like Goku and I. So where do you put this episode at?
Well, I will admit that this was a slightly better episode than last week's one, and I was pretty scathing about that one in my rating. And I was really disappointed with the whole fucking lack of use of air support and all this one again. So I'm going to rate this one the bomber scene from The Last Jedi.
Mhm.
All right. Where are you at, Doku?
I'm gonna give this episode a 7. I stand by my 4 rating on last week's episode. If you're gonna build up the Night King and the White Walkers just to have it all end in one episode in a very, in my opinion, unsatisfying way, yeah, you deserve that 4 out of 10 rating. This one actually surprised me in how much it did. There was a lot of character development, foreshadowing. I actually enjoyed myself watching this episode because there's a lot of things I didn't expect to happen. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, no, and that was one thing. Like, I was literally fucking yelling on Discord when that dragon got shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that was insanity. I was not. Like, oh shit! I was like, wow, we're down to 1 dragon now. I see how this is.
Yeah. So I mean, if they got me actually yelling, then they did something right. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. There was a lot this episode did I did not expect it to do. And it didn't have to be a big fancy battle or anything crazy, but with what they did with character development, maybe some foreshadowing, we'll see what they do in the next 2 episodes coming up. But there was enough that this episode felt like Game of Thrones, not just crap, we have to wrap things up. Let's rush it. Yeah, because the last episode, that was not the long night. That was lazy writing, and it was bullshit. This episode, on the other hand, this is what I expect from this show. So they definitely earned a solid 7 out of 10. I might even stretch it and go as far to say it is an 8.
Well, I tell you fucking what, bloody Discount Sarah Connor better fuck over other Discount Sarah Connor, or else I'm going to be fucking disappointed.
Well, no, and that is where I was going to lead to here is if there was any way to improve this episode, would you have cut out some of the celebration stuff at the beginning? I probably wouldn't have. I thought that was good character development. I would have just had them shove that bitch off the wall. You know, I wouldn't drag that on for 10 minutes. I think that was a little excessive.
I think it would be way worse. Could you imagine if they actually just pushed her off instead of cut her head off? Whew. Whew. I think Cersei would have killed them right then and there. I honestly think had they pushed her off in front of Tyrion Lannister, and the body hit his feet, I think Cersei would have lost.
Oh, that would have been badass.
At that point.
Actually. Yeah, I like where you're going there.
Like-
That would have been badass. She just smashes right at his fucking feet, and he's just looking up at his sister. Yeah, that would have been good.
Right, he doesn't even jump back, but he just looks up and he sees the body go right like before his eyes, and then he looks down a little bit, and the body just hits. You hear about thump, and everyone's just like standing still for a minute. Like, yeah,
Yeah, no, that would have worked pretty good. What do you think, Doku? How would you change this episode up? Would you have had Jon Snow on the dragon? That would have been interesting. Him actually riding the dragon when it gets fucking speared. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have done that, because that also means if Jon Snow was riding Rhaegal when they get ambushed, Jon Snow is either dead for a second time, or it just wouldn't make sense to me. So the fact that
You could
Rhaegal's
have.
not being
What if you had him jump from Rhaegal to Dracarys? You have him actually jump from dragon to dragon. That could have been cool.
to Drogon, it would have been cool, but no, I don't think that would have worked. If Jon Snow had been riding Rhaegal shouldn't be dead, because he was the only dragon that didn't have a rider, which is why he got killed. If Jon Snow had been riding Rhaegal would still be alive if he doesn't come back in the next episode or two.
Is the reason they killed Rhaegal because Jon Snow can't have a direwolf and a dragon? That just makes him too powerful. Is that what's
Well,
up?
I think it is symbolism. The fact that Rhaegal is essentially Jon Snow's dragon, because we saw Rhaegal basically tell Dany piss off and go looking for Jon Snow, and the fact that Rhaegal, the first hit, was essentially in the same spot that would be where Jon Snow's heart is, where he got stabbed and killed. I think it is very much symbolism, which is why I think there's a good chance Rhaegal actually might come back. Like, I don't know if he's actually dead or not, but I do think it is tying their two characters together, where, they say the dragon always has three heads. I think that's kind of a nod to that, or it might be a nod to the fact that Jon Snow is actually going to die, because they had that scene where Jon Snow is basically saying goodbye to everybody.
Yeah. Also, I want to point out, Cersei and Dany both have green eyes. So.
Yeah, so Arya's probably going to be the one to kill Cersei, because brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes. Well, she's killed somebody with brown eyes. She's killed somebody with blue eyes. Who's the last person on her list that has green eyes?
But personally, I'd rather see some better battle tactics and stuff like that. I mean, like, there was that point at the beginning where they were standing around talking, and one of them arcs up with, "No, well, I'll have to go and see the officers and all this kind of stuff to find out how many battle-ready blokes that we've got." Well, while you're at it, okay, not only ask that, but like, go and fucking do some probing work. Go find out what if their weapons have progressed or anything like that. Do we need to change our battle tactics or anything like that? Fucking, instead of just going in thinking, "Oh yeah, everything's the same as it was the last time." Oh shit, they got ballistas. They got AAA. Oh fuck.
Well, no, and here's the thing as well. Why are they playing off this Sansa and Dany issue?
Real quick before we jump into that, Mad Dodge, I would like someone to correct me if I'm wrong, but the major kills that Arya has had, Ellian Payne, I believe he had brown eyes. The Night King had blue eyes. Cersei has green eyes. So I'm guessing Cersei is going to be killed by Arya.
Well,
yeah, but
like I was saying before, that's the only way her arc can actually end, right? I mean, they have her headed south. She turned down Gendry, which I thought was stupid. They really should have played that part out. I was shipping that relationship. I think they should have went with that. But hey, whatever.
In the
Well,
chat, a very
I'm
dead
gonna.
horse. Hang on, fuck ya. In the chat, a very dead horse says it's going to be Gendry or Jamie to kill Cersei.
Also,
um,
here's my guess. I'm guessing that Arya is actually going to kill Cersei, but then be killed by the undead mountain, and that's when we're going to get Clegane Bowl. I don't think Arya is actually going to live.
Okay, so are Dan and Dave gonna do what we all want them to and have the Hound kill Gregor, or are they gonna do what they really should do and have Gregor Clegane kill the Hound? The Hound should lose this battle. He really should.
no, he should. But what I think is actually going to happen is, like I was saying, Arya's going to try to stab Cersei, and she's going to kill Jamie, and then we're going to look into his eyes and see he has green eyes, and then what's his face is going to kill Arya. The mountain's going to kill Arya, and then after that, then you're going to get the Clegane Bowl. At that point, or he's going to badly wound her, and then that's when you get Clegane Bowl.
And I tend to agree because I think Arya, even if it's not a kill shot, she's either going to severely wound Cersei or just flat out kill her, but not without being wounded severely by the mountain. And the Hound is going to basically save her life and then kill Gregor Clegane. That's going to be the rage moment he needs to just kill his brother with complete disregard for his own life.
Am I the only one that wants that drinking horn that Tormund has? Sorry, that just popped in my head. Like, I want that drinking horn. That's badass.
Oh, that drinking horn is legendary.
I think pretty much anyone who watches this show wants that drinking horn.
Not really.
Right.
He seemed to spill a hell of a lot of it, so it's not very good.
Well,
That doesn't mean it's not entertaining to drink from.
Well, no, and that's just how Tormund is, man. He's a messy drunk. Get over it.
He's going to hell for blaspheming and spilling the alcohol.
but no, that drinking horn was pretty badass. But okay. Overall, I think this episode really did a lot to make up for last episode. The last one was anticlimactic, and it really, it was a letdown. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, now you bring up that bloody horn thingy, I've got to say I'm actually outraged at this because it showed a blaspheme against my religion. You don't spill the alcohol, fuck's sake.
Fair enough. Australians are notorious for being anti-beer abuse.
Mm-hmm.
But where are they going to go from here? You had the standoff at the wall. I thought Tyrion was going to turn on Dany. He didn't. That was good. But
yeah, he didn't turn on her yet.
Dany's going to nuke the other joint. Easy.
What if Arya kills Dany? What if Arya kills Dany, Jamie, and Cersei for like all of them in next week's episode, but for like different reasons? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So Doku. Cersei has to lose. That's obvious. It's really all about how they get there, right?
Well, I think and I'm putting faith in Dan and Dave here, which is probably a really bad idea. Yeah, you have Danny pissed off over losing Rhaegal and the irritation over Missandei being beheaded and
Like
chucked off.
she was just chopped the fuck off. Like
Yeah, she got Neddard.
Oh,
Yeah, she got Neddard Starked. And so
she got Ned Stark.
yeah, so she's probably gonna be pissed, and you know her last words were Jacaris. So yeah, King's Landing is probably gonna get completely torched. I don't know if Drogon will survive the battle or not, but if Drogon does survive the battle, King's Landing is not going to. And if she's walking up to the Iron Throne after the whole thing has been torched, you know, that fan theory of, you know, it's not snow falling, but those are indeed ashes. Ashes of the people that Dany was supposed to save and protect might come to pass. And at that point in time, Dany might not want the Iron Throne because she might, to mirror what she said when she was talking to Jon Snow back in the last season, don't judge the sins of the father on his daughter. So, yeah, Dany might become the Mad Queen and just torch all of them out of absolute just malice, madness, and hatred, and do so using a dragon.
Well, I don't see that there's any real way that she can get around it. They got that wall pretty much fucking penned up pretty bloody good. The only way that she is realistically going to do it is to attack from within, and that's to dive bomb it with a dragon.
Well, and here's the other thing. If Dan and Dave are smart, yeah, they have the battlements lined with those very, very large ballistas that they've already proven to be very effective against dragons. But what happens if Dany just goes straight to the Red Keep? You're going to pull a 180-degree turn and start firing at the dragon that's already flown past your battlements and your walls? I don't think that's going to work.
Well, I still say it's a thing of altitude. Like I said, you know, they don't really have the greatest firing arc for anti-aircraft guns. They can't fire straight up. So all you do is use your altitude and then just fucking literally dive bomb them.
Yeah, just come down right on top of the Red Keep and just torch the damn thing.
Mm.
But I do like how you know, Cersei's hand came out and, you know, hey, we want you to fucking surrender. Yeah, well, we want you to surrender. You know, so fuck off, right? That was really interesting. Moving forward, I really feel like there's nothing left other than some turmoil between Jon and Dany, and who's gonna kill Cersei. Like, start placing your bets now. I mean,
just real quick in the chat, Caesar Augustus prediction: Jon will win and abolish the Iron Throne. First, Aragon. T created the throne. Now Jon Aragon will destroy it and free the realm.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. I think there's still a distinctive possibility that, you know, that fan theory that Jon becomes the new Night King might be a thing.
is there a reason why Aragon?
How would he become the Night King?
Real quick though, have you guys noticed that when it comes to Tolkien, it's Aragon, and when it comes to Martin, it's, you know, freaking Aegon? I mean, that's pretty fucking close, right? Is that on purpose?
I thought it was the same fucking thing. That's why I pronounced it that way. I thought he was making a spelling mistake.
Well, and to answer the question, how does Jon become the new Night King? Remember how the Night King was created. He's already been stabbed in the heart. He was resurrected.
Right, but the Night King was created by the people out in the fucking
The
woods.
children of the forest, and we
Right.
actually left something out, guys. Remember when they take John into the Godswood, right? We need to talk real quick. We don't trust Danny. Bran was there. If Bran can see the future and the past, and he doesn't trust Danny, then what does he know? You know what I mean?
That she
Well-
is going to burn the fuck out of this other kingdom and fucking not be the savior everyone thinks she is.
Bran didn't say that. The only thing Bran said in that entire scene was that it's your choice. So, from what I gather, Jon has two choices. He can either sit on the Iron Throne or choose the alternative, whatever that might be. It would not surprise me, since Jon has already been stabbed in the heart and been resurrected by the Lord of Light. The Night King, the Long Night, it is the Song of Ice and Fire. George R. R. Martin's already confirmed that there are people who are resurrected by the Lord of Light and not the old gods, which would be directly linked to the White Walkers and the Night King. So maybe the Long Spring?
I
Maybe
think you
the
missed.
Long Spring is
I think you missed.
Jon?
I think you missed the whole point of that scene. Is that everyone was in agreement when they spoke to Jon. They obviously had this conversation well beforehand, and the only thing that kid in the wheelchair needed to say was, "It's your choice," as if to say, "Yep, we've already said our piece. You either in or out."
Well, and no, but think about it from this perspective. If Jon is the prince who was promised, he encompasses both light and ice, or fire and ice. So who's to say that there isn't a further role that Jon has to play, and that role is not sitting on the Iron Throne? Yeah, Danny clearly wants it. How bittersweet would it be for Jon to basically tell Danny, I love you, but my role is with my people, and that's in the north. We've seen how he's treated the wildlings. The wildlings are going north. Let's say Jon's second death is the death of Rhaegal, the dragon that we saw get completely destroyed. Who's to say that Jon doesn't decide after Danny claims her throne that he's just gonna go back to the lands of always winter, the true north, and that is that.
I don't think so. I think Jon's ultimate destination is to be the leader that he never wanted to be. He never wanted to be the king. He never wanted to be anything. He always thought he was the bastard son of Eddard Stark. He never wanted any of this, and that's the bittersweet ending. It's all placed at his feet.
Well, Mad Dodge, think about this. Jon Snow has already been resurrected by the Lord of Light. Who is there around that can resurrect Jon if he dies for a second time?
Nobody. You have Beric Dondarrion is dead. Melisandre is dead. There is nobody left that can resurrect Jon. If Jon falls again, he's dead.
But the Whites resurrect people. As do the followers of the Lord of Light. What happened?
They're dead. They're gone. There is no more Army of the Dead. They killed that plotline, dude.
But what happened? What happened to that Red Witch that we saw in Meereen? The one that asked Varys if he knew, what words came out of the flames. Where is she?
I'm not sure, actually. That is a good question. I guess going forward, there's nowhere left for them to go other than Cersei's death. It's just how are we gonna get, how are we gonna achieve that? I think Jaime killing her would be the best way to go.
Well, let's be honest. If they go with that route, Arya's going to kill Jaime and use his face as a way to kill Cersei. Hey, knowing Dan and Dave, that's what they're going to do.
Well, no, and a very dead horse in the chat says Jamie is gonna get the Iron Throne. I don't think so, and I don't think he would even want it, would he? Like, that's not something he's ever actively pursued.
He's already shown that he doesn't want it, because if you read the books, he's already sat on it once and has flat out told, I believe it was Robert Baratheon, you can keep your throne, it's uncomfortable anyways, and then basically tells him to fuck off.
Well, no, it was Ned. Ned showed up, and Jamie was sitting on the throne. He was sitting on the throne, though, because that's the only fucking seat in the whole entire room. You know what I mean?
Sitting on the throne because he was busting for a shit.
I mean, it is a throne made of melted swords. At least that's what we're led to believe. So, yeah, I don't think Jaime's going to get the throne. I don't think Dany's going to get it either. I don't think anybody's going to sit on it. Isn't the whole point to break the wheel?
I'd laugh to fuck if the midget gets it. Why not?
Well, no, that is interesting. The whole idea is to break the wheel, right? So why are we fighting over a throne anyway, Dany? Why are you looking sideways at Jon the whole fucking time? What's your problem? I thought you wanted to break the cycle. I thought, House Stark, House Targaryen, House Baratheon, they're all wheels on they're all spokes on a wheel, right?
Plot twist, Dodge. She actually wants the power.
Well, it's ridiculous. It really is.
But what a twist.
I mean, if anybody could possibly convince Dany that the Iron Throne is not worth the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, it would be Jon Snow. And him giving his own life, might actually convince her the Iron Throne is not worth it. If she truly does want to break the wheel, prove it. Put your money where your mouth is. It's not like Dany hasn't done something like that before, but who could actually convince her of such? Killing Tyrion, killing Varys? Yeah, maybe. But if Jon Snow sacrifices himself just to prove to her that the Iron Throne is nothing more than just an uncomfortable chair that nobody wants, and that's one direction to take it.
Well, no, okay, so the thing with Jon Snow is, you can't just build this character up over 8 seasons and then just kill him off. Sorry, you can't. Dany has the crazy streak, right? She's not a redhead, but she might as well be. She's got the fucking psycho streak. So her dying makes a lot more sense. I don't think she should sit the Iron Throne. I think Jon should.
Actually, I stand by my I'm probably wrong on this one because again, I don't trust Dan and Dave. I think Jon Snow should inevitably die because he's keeping his word to Daenerys. She gets the Iron Throne, but she gets it at the cost of Jon Snow's life. But Jon Snow, for whatever reason, does become the new Night King, takes his undead dragon, goes back to the real North, and Jon and Dany never see each other again. And so now Dany has to sit on a throne that now she does not want. Because who does she have left? Tyrion's probably dead. Varys is probably dead. Jon Snow has fucked off to the lands of Oyswinter. And she's basically left alone, ruling over a kingdom that might applaud her for breaking said wheel, but now she is just depressed and she has the power at a cost that she never wanted to pay. And now she knows the reason Jon never wanted the throne or that kind of power. Now she has to sit on the Iron Throne.
Well, no, John never wanted the throne because of his dad. Like, let's be real. Aegon is not John's dad. John's dad is Eddard Stark. John's dad never wanted to go south. He never wanted any of this political intrigue or any of it. And why would John? I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right?
Well, and that's why it would be a really perfect bittersweet ending, because John and Dany might actually love each other, but it would only take John having to screw off to the Lands of Voice winter and never seeing the person he loves again for Dany to actually realize the Iron Throne isn't worth losing the person I love, let alone losing one of my children, i.e. Rhaegal. So now she has to come to terms with just how much sitting on that uncomfortable piece of freaking metal actually cost her. That would truly be a bittersweet ending.
Oh, it looks like I triggered Melissa in the chat. Redhead, psycho streak, them's fighting words.
Oh, right. You made Melissa mad.
Yeah. Whatever. You know, we all know you have no souls. All right.
Oh, now you're just poking the dragon. She's got the red hair. She's gonna come for you now.
Poking the dragon. I'll leave it that alone. Okay. Moving on.
Poking the drag queen.
Oh, hey, you said it, not me.
God damn it. Okay, so do you think there will be treason coming from within Dany's camp? You have Tyrion and Varys actively talking about Jon sitting the throne, right?
I don't know, but your kid sounds upset about it.
Again, you said it, not me. No, I think it'll come from Varys. And I think he'll probably frame Tyrion for it, but I think Dany will kill Tyrion, but I think it's going to be Varys that actually betrays Dany.
Okay, so ultimately we pretty much have 2 episodes of the final boss battle, right? That's pretty much what's left.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
This was the longest episode so far this season. Do you know if the next episode's going to be longer or on par with this
Yeah. The last 2 episodes are like the longest episodes.
Well, aren't they all supposed to be like an hour and a half or something like that?
No, well, the last 2 are like an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an hour and a half
with ads.
No, well, it's the beginning. So you get the beginning with ads, and then you have the start. So let's say what, an hour and 20.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half with ads.
Yeah.
Did everyone else just die, or is it just me?
No, I'm still here.
We're just waiting for you to finish opening your damn bag of whatever the fuck it is you're eating.
Yeah, like, dude, put the Dorito bag down, all right?
That was the wrapping off a 3-pack. Fucking, I was just opening another beer. This shit's driving me to drink.
Oh, well, in that case.
Hang on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Holy shit, what was that? Did you just, like, jump through your fucking window? What the hell's going on?
No, that's just a pile of beer bottles and beer cans sitting in front of me.
God damn. Hey, you might or might not be an alcoholic. All right.
No, it's my defense strategy. It's my defense strategy. If I ever get home invaded, I have a weapon at arm's reach. And if that one breaks, I got another one.
Wait, never mind. I'm not going there. Okay. So, any last thoughts on the episode, guys? I think we pretty much beat this dead horse. Hi, a very dead horse.
It was shit, but not as shit as the last one.
And I don't know. I'm actually not as displeased with this episode as I was the last one. I stand by my. I'll give it a 7.5.
Yeah, no, I stand by my solid 8. I think this episode was pretty darn good. Especially compared to the last one. There was a lot of good character development. There was the dragon kill, like son of a bitch, dude. Sorry, I'm not getting over that. Like that was fucking insane.
I'd actually like to revise my my fucking rating because, well, at least the bombers from the fucking Last Jedi still kept going after the first one blew up. I'll give this a Monty Python's Holy Grail. Run away!
Are you running behind it with coconuts?
I fart in your general direction.
Clickety click, clickety click. All right. Good night, everybody. We will be back tomorrow, and we will be back next weekend with the next episode. Will Dani live? Will she fuck her nephew? We don't know. Come and find out. Peace out, guys. We're out of here.